Before we get this video started, please make sure to like, favor, and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications so that way you never miss out on another video. Almost to 500 subscribers, my Gummy Knights. Let's go ahead and make it happen.
Hey guys! Yeah, you see what I did there? Because this is supposedly embracing the topic in which we're going to be discussing today. That's right, I can use gender-neutral language too! I can definitely be as PC as the best progressives out there in the world. You know the guys that wear masks out on the streets and beat the shit out of people and hold up traffic? Yeah, I can be just like those guys.
Eat a man!
Woo!
You ever feel like you can't make it through the day? You ever want to talk to God and you can't pray? You all kneel down and can't find a word to say, and you are wondering yourself away God there.
Yo, what up my Gummy Knights? So, I know you probably saw the beginning of the video there, and that's because I think I'm fucking done. I should have took one look at the dislike to like ratio on this video. Now granted, I'm not one who sit there and let that holds me to a particular bias, right? I'm not gonna let it stop me from being able to check out the video to see if there's actually something worthwhile in it. I mean, even on some of my videos, I have had major dislikes. Now granted, the ones I had major dislikes on are from actual retards who just ignore facts, data, and, well, logic and reason, or sometimes it is just because, you know, some people don't like the video or whatever. But that's besides the point. I'm just saying, I've had my fair share of videos where I got massive amounts of dislike, where the video was presenting facts, reason, and logic, but people chose to have a certain opinion, and rather than actually debate me, they decided massive dislikes is the way to go. Bring me down the ratio so that way nobody can check out my channel. And then the ones who do check out the channel for the video automatically see that many dislikes and think that the video is going to be crap. Either dislike and walk away or basically skim through the video without even watching it in its entire context. So, that all being said, I'm trying to be fair to a video by NowThis, saying why you should stop saying the word, hey guys.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class!
Now, hey guys is commonplace terminology. It usually is meant to represent a group of individuals, right? Represent a group of individuals. Like when you're walking into a store and you meet a couple of your friends, or when you're walking into a bar, when you're walking into a club, and you're like, hey guys, what's up? Hey guys, how's it going? Hey guys, how you been? Now, this can be turned to something more specific, but however, the general context of the term is meant to be utilized in the sense of representing an entire group of people, regardless of what the gender it is. Because you can say, hey guys, and it's like a group of ladies there. In fact, girls themselves will say that to other girls. Now, I'm not sitting there saying they say it all the time, but I am saying it does indeed happen. So, let's go ahead and get into this quote-unquote NowThis video about why we should suddenly stop saying it at all. Because I'm assuming it's going to definitely be very woke, right? It's going to definitely be very representative of something that is dangerous and harmful in terms of the language that we use. And that we need to effing stop it, right? So I am ready, right? I am ready to have my mind changed.
Hey guys, welcome back to NowThis. Guys is a simple term. It could mean boys, or if you're modern, hip, it means people. At first glance, guys seems inviting, friendly, maybe warm, even comedic at times. But it, like many male default terms...
Alright, I was up there with her, right? I already had my first problem. We're not even a minute into this, and I have already suffered from my first brain aneurysm. What do you mean defining as a male term? Again, even you point out yourself the contradiction to that, considering that guys has been used as a colloquial term for representing large groups, regardless of what the gender is. I mean, you call it's hip and modern in terms of the lingo that is being utilized when somebody says the word, hey guys, or words in this case. So I don't get where you're getting this quote-unquote male default, but you know what? Maybe she's going to explain it. I'm assuming she is. So let's keep going because I think I'm really getting a clear picture here as to what's actually going on.
Should not be normalized as an all-encompassing phrase, innocent as it may seem.
So it should not be utilized as an all-encompassing phrase, as innocent as it may be. Oh boy. Look, you guys can already tell that this video is going directly downhill, right? She has absolutely no idea the rabbit hole that she is sinking into, right? She has no idea the slippery slope that is going down. We already have to suffer enough at people curtailing language, at people trying to stop language, you know, with stuff like hate speech, which doesn't fucking exist. Yes, there is hateful speech, right? If I call you a bitch-ass nigga, that's hateful. However, it is not hate speech, right? Hate speech has no real definition, has no defined equality, and is protected under law as free speech. Hate speech falls under that banner of hateful speech. But let's keep going because I don't want to keep stopping. I want to give her a good chunk so I can dissect it that way. But it's just this video is so laughably bad at this point that you just gotta know the spiciness that is coming out of her mouth right now. I can already feel my brain cells being drained as I continue on this crusade of a video to try to stop and curtail speech and language because it's offensive and harmful.
While we may understand the word means no real harm, with a deeper look, you'll understand that we've been ignoring the cognitive impact on women as well as gender non-conforming folks by only explicitly addressing the male-identifying individuals present.
That's horseshit!
Oh my god.
Why are you so fucking stupid?
First of all, no, we are not only identifying the male presence within the room. Hey guys is a gender neutral term, or is used as gender neutral terminology when addressing a group of people. If you wanted to be Pacific, you would then use a guy identifier with a Pacific person in which you are talking to. That is what is specified. Or even if you want to still use the terminology of guys, you would then just say, this one goes out to all my guys. Hey, I'm talking to the males in the room. Hey, this one is for my boys. This is the type of language you would use, even when utilizing the word guys. But in just saying, hey guys, what's up? It could mean any number of things. Even if the room happens to be specifically occupied by only men, it does not necessarily mean that this is directly identifying specifically only men in every type of situation like this, because it's not always going to be the situation where it's just only men in the room. And if it is, and you say, hey guys, there is nothing wrong with that, because specifically there is only men in the room. So yes, you would be directly identifying the only gender in the room. I mean, but that's just coincidence. It's not meant to be Pacific or harmful to the mental state of gender non-conforming people and women. Like, come on, this is just pathologically absurd at this point. We're not even a minute in. She's not even trying.
The meaning of guys has changed over time. According to the Washington Post,
You serious?
You know, at this point, I should just stop watching the video. The second, right, the nanosecond that she decided to introduce the Washington Post as a source. Yeah, I knew I should have just stopped watching this video.
etymologists believe it began in the 17th century with a guy named Guy Fawkes, a participant in the failed 1605 gunpowder plot. He only barely escaped a brutal execution by jumping off a scaffold and breaking his neck. For the next few centuries, those who likened him in fashion, appearance, or intellect were referred to as guys. Eventually, according to the Boston Globe, the term broadened to describe creepy people, then to a generic term for men, and now, some would say, a gender-neutral phrase.
Okay, so, Guy Fawkes, I don't really feel like taking the time to look up who that is and about the history and stuff like that. I mean, the information source comes from the Washington Post, and also, she's talking about the Boston Globe, adding in the context of how the phrase and stuff has evolved. So I'm not really going to sit there and look up Guy Fawkes. I'm just going to take her word for it. But, you know, it does come across as belittlement. She basically says that he was a failure and stuff, but now the terminology that was used as guys is to represent his intellect and bravery, despite him being a quote-unquote failed loose cannon in a plot where he barely escaped an execution, meaning that he is actually, unironically, incompetent and unintelligent. That's the type of representation she's trying to put here to try to get her agenda and message across that the terminology of guys is actually offensive and harmful. Because it originates with somebody who was supposed to be intelligent and smart, but actually they weren't. Look, I really don't care about that. I am talking about her next few statements, really is what I'm caring about. How, again, she contradicts her whole premise with even the Boston Globe pointing out it's a gender-neutral term. Or at least it's a gender-neutral in terms of its terminology and the ways that it can be used. It does not have to specifically address men. So it's ridiculous for her to continue on with this video because there's such a obvious, disingenuous argument that she is making, and she has absolutely no idea how to word this without putting in contradictions.
For decades, we have set a standard of only addressing the men in the room. Of course, we claim it's colloquial, but with our elevated knowledge and inclusive perspective, it just seems lazy, inconsiderate, and a small part of what reinforces the gender hierarchy today.
Oh man, I just can't do this, guys. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I'm not even halfway through this video. What are you talking about? If you want to sit there and use the context that you have placed it in, saying, hey guys, one of the most gender neutral phrases that you can utilize in a situation where you're addressing most people. I don't get it. Where you're going with this? You're like, oh, at one point, women weren't valued for their voices, so it's the same everywhere else, it's the same today? When actually, if you look at the current climate in which we live in, women's voices are more valued. Do I need to bring up Me Too That's just one of the many examples. I'm just saying. When women have literally converted the idea of guilty unto proven innocent, and then, even then, you're still being shunned in the eyes of the public, even if you were proven innocent, because it's believe her, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not, quote-unquote, ignoring women's voices. The quote-unquote, long systemic time of ignoring women's voices by only addressing the men in the room. That's not what this phrase is being utilized for. Hell, even looking at your little history lesson, it was referred to somebody who was creepy, then became something general for men. So as far as the history of the word goes, even according to you, it was never something to specifically only marginalize women and address the men within the room. That is ridiculous. Woo! Woo! And the gender hierarchy, yes! Must smash the patriarchy, destroy the oppression, smash the segregation.
I will restore the working man to his rightful glory. I will dismantle this oppressive establishment board by board. I will saw the tables of tyranny in half, gnaw at the ankles of big business.
It is ridiculous. This video is hilarious. It is so hilariously and bafflingly bad that I honestly don't know if I can continue on. But I am a trooper, so I'm going to push forward.
How is one to feel empowered to speak or assert themselves when upon greeting they're misgendered or even ignored in language? Can we be surprised that for decades women often felt uncomfortable asserting their voice when we didn't even take the time to properly acknowledge them?
I don't even honestly know how to respond to this, and it's not because it's not easily refuted. It's more because this has got to be a parody video or something like that, right? This is what you're trying to look at. This is somebody just making up as they go along. The quote-unquote unacknowledgement of women that you're talking about, women throughout history have had acknowledgement. There have been women who have maintained a steady flow of power throughout history, women who've been in all types of positions, whether it be authority, whether it be high paying, etc., etc. Women have withheld these positions throughout history. This in no way is an unacknowledgement when you use the term guys, right? The total sexist language, the quote-unquote misgendering language. It's not misgendering anyone. It's not meant to come across to you as, oh, hey, I'm a trans person. I don't identify as a guy. It's basically saying, what up, people? Except nobody says, what up, people? If anything, you got the old terminology and phrases that people would say, what up, my people? But even then, that falls under Pacifics. As in, you're talking to your people, your Pacific group of people that you know. If you're just talking to a group of strangers, however, none of those would be your people. So you wouldn't even try to use that. But no one says, I'm just saying, no one says that. What? No one says, what's up, Zers? It's theirs. Hey, y'all. You are ridiculous. You have a fundamental misunderstanding of history, you clearly don't know what you're talking about, and you're trying to push forth the agenda that doesn't even make sense and is a contradiction to your own video.
These linguistic tendencies were developed and reinforced in eras where women were barely meant to be seen and certainly not heard. Please note, you're not a bad feminist if you're comfortable with using the phrase guys. There are larger issues that we, the feminists, need to combat. Reproductive rights, rape culture, violence against women, LGBTQ rights, and the general reprogramming of most people's minds when it comes to the valuation of women in society.
Am I saying reprogramming people's minds? I said in the beginning, have my mind changed. Not reprogram and completely fundamentally alter to a way of thinking that is only specifically specified in the way that you want me to think. The thought police. Am I right, people? The thought police. This is fascism at its finest. I'm not sitting there trying to say that she is a fascist or anything like that. But what are you even talking about? Women's rights? What rights do men have that women do not? And what are you talking about? Reproductive rights? That's not an issue. Not an issue. We don't live in a rape culture. No one profits or is elated at rape, okay? Rapists go to jail. I want the full extent of the law to be brought down against rapists. This is not something that is happening. And when you talk about violence against women, excuse me, why don't you go to places like the Congo then? Why don't you go to places like Saudi Arabia? You know, one of them is the rape capital of the world where women are devalued and dehumanized. The other place also devalues and dehumanizes women. I mean, for crying out loud. Rape is used as a tool of war in some of these places. This is not in America, okay? We do not profit off the idea of violence against women. In fact, even back in the day, where you would have said there's more disrespect and more violence against women as held by society, there were still vocal people, including people in large positions of power, who wanted to bring back capital punishment for abusing and mistreating and promoting violence against women. This is ridiculous. These are non-issues, but okay, let's say they are. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Why the hell are you here trying to combat a phrase, a gender-neutral phrase, that you yourself have stated is not hurting anyone? Why are you here trying to quote-unquote combat that? Combat the prejudice of that, when you literally point out that you have more important things to fight for as feminists? What is your issue? What is your deal? How can people be created who are this stupid? I mean, maybe it's the nature versus nurture argument. Maybe she wasn't born this stupid. Maybe she wasn't indoctrinated to be this stupid. I'm leaning towards more that way, because I don't think anyone, right, unless you actually can show physical signs of mental deficiency, right, pretty much, and I was assume that she's just a normal, everyday, average person who doesn't have any learning disabilities, who is able to process information at the rate in which she is able to do it, which is, normal, if not maybe excelled, depending on her IQ and stuff like that. I'm assuming that that's what she is, and not somebody with mental deficiency. So why then are you this stupid? It has to be someone is nurturing her to be this stupid. Someone has indoctrinated her to be this stupid. Oh, also LGBTQ. As someone who would be technically considered as part of that community, if you really want to go there, stop speaking for us. No, but in all seriousness, protect it under the law. This is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. But when you stop valuing the personhood and visibility of individuals, you make it easier to dehumanize them on a macro scale, minimizing his, her, its, their right to respect and equality.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. That's actually pretty fantastic. You guys are talking about the rights and stuff of the individuals and acknowledging the individual, right? Considering that your people, the SJWs, right, the feminists and stuff, do not do that at all. Considering the radical left do not hold that perspective of the individual. They hold the value of the group. So maybe, no. Maybe you can go to them and tell them that, hey, guess what? You are dehumanizing the rights and you are dehumanizing the rights and liberties of the individual when you come against them like the way that you've been doing. When you only can identify them by an moniker that would go with their group, such as their race, their sex, their sexual orientation, etc., etc. So maybe you can promote this message to your own group of people. You walking, talking hypocrisy tube like this. It makes me laugh, the amount of hypocrisy that goes into statements like that. And I don't even agree wholeheartedly with all the statement. I'm just saying how, if you really want to promote certain ideology within there, you can easily turn it against the group who profits the most off of devaluing the individual and only holding up the group, which is her people, the people that she often represents, the people that she often wants to recognize in our quote-unquote public discourse.
I'm not offended, per se, if someone lumps me in with the guys. I'm sure there's really no malintent. In fact, if you and your friends want to freely address each other, by all means. I just want you to know that you're one small step away from making a more conscious effort to dismantle the patriarchy.
All right, I gotta leave, okay?
John, we just started. Come on, man.
Listen, there's a lot to see in this life. Not wasting it here.
Smash the oppression! Destroy the patriarchy! Oh my god. You're one step closer to dismantling the patriarchy when you acknowledge these other groups. Yeah. This lady is absolutely ridiculous. It's like, you want to be able to combat this, but at the same time, at some point, you just gotta acknowledge that these people must have low IQs. Right? She's not helping the cause, man. She is not helping the cause. As a black individual, to have such a low IQ is only quote-unquote promoting the ideas of stereotypes, right? The quote-unquote, the ideas that black people have low IQs and stuff inherently. I mean, now, if you want to go to science, generally on average, black people do tend to have a lower IQ than some other racial groups. But, I'm just saying, if you want to look at the stereotypes, she doesn't understand how she's contradicting her own points and stuff that she likes to fight against. Or, I won't say her specifically, but she probably is lumped in with this group of people who do like to fight against it. It's like you're walking into the stereotypes that black people are unintelligent or have inherently low IQs. You're not helping with that because you are such a low IQ henchman. It is baffling. It is mind-boggling how anyone can be this stupid. And for somebody who says, well, you're just insulting her with ad hominems. You're not debunking any of her points. I have done nothing but constantly debunk her points throughout the whole of this video. I am just also adding in the fact that she is retarded. See, insults while also hitting them with facts, reason, and logic. That's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
Don't believe me? Try walking into a room full of cisgender heterosexual men and triumphantly announce, "Hey gals, okay girls, thanks sis." I'm sure within 10 minutes, if not seconds, at least one person will correct you.
How daft do you have to be?
Men, do that already!
For crying out loud, I walk in there in a group of my guy friends, or a group of guys who are acquainted with me and stuff like that. I don't really deal with the strangers, but I will say, "What's up, ladies?" No one corrects me. It's meant as a joke, as you point out in this video. It can often be used under the context of humor. What are you talking about? So yeah, I don't believe you, because it doesn't happen. We men we are already using this type of terminology with each other. We're not just saying, "Hey, what's up, guys?" We say, "What's up, ladies?" And again, going down further, a lot of the other language in which you use, like "thanks, gals," is mainly Pacific. As when you're talking about boys, like, "Hey, my boys." You're clearly talking to a group of men. You're specifically talking about the men. You're drawing attention to the men, like she is with gals and cis, right? Because cis speaks to an individual, not a group. But again, clearly she is a low IQ henchman and is not able to comprehend something so simplistic as this. So no, I don't believe you, because it doesn't exist. Again, we do this already, and men don't correct us, right? Men don't correct me. I mean, maybe I can't speak for everybody. Maybe there is, but guess what? More so the people on your side who are part of the LGBTQ community and stuff like that, and other women. Just like you're making this video right now and literally talking about how we should stop it because it's so offensive and stuff. So really the only one who would be in that group of people who would correct somebody seems to be you, because the men aren't. You're the only one sitting here talking about, "Oh, hey guys," or somebody walking up to a group of individuals saying, people and saying, "Hey guys." It's suddenly offensive that you would stand up and call them out, talking about, there are ladies at this group, there are trans people at this group. I mean, I love how she says, "It doesn't bother me." It doesn't bother me, when clearly it does. It clearly does bother you.
We should all be as protective of our gender identities as a cisgender heterosexual man. We deserve it.
No, what you deserve is to be put in a straitjacket, trot out down to a local mental institution within your neighborhood. That's what you deserve. Protecting your gender identities and stuff. Whose identity is in jeopardy because I say, "Hey guys"? If you choose to believe that, if you are a man and choose to believe that you are a woman, I don't care. If you are a woman and you're hanging out with a bunch of dudes, I don't care. She keeps pointing out throughout this video that it doesn't have any malintent to it. It's not actually harmful, but contradicts that notion by simply pointing out that it actually is harmful because it takes away from somebody's identity. Which is it? Make up your mind. Choose a side. Is it harmful or is it not harmful? Does it take away from somebody's identities, or is it neutral language that can be used so that way it doesn't steal away from quote-unquote somebody's identity? Make up your mind. Alright, so I am not going to finish any more of this video because I'm probably dying at this point. I think I have had like 2 aneurysms during the course of recording this. So I'm not going to continue this video. It is absurd. I will let you guys go ahead and finish it out. I recommend that you actually don't watch it because you already sat here with me and I'm pretty sure you are left in the same state as I am. But that's all besides the point. It will be linked in the description if you want to go ahead and finish it out. At this point, I'm just baffled by the amount of idiocy I'm seeing on screen. So she wants us to curtail our language, but also continue using other language that we are constantly already using. There are people who say, "Hey y'all," "Hey folks," "What's up team?" People already say that, but there is also nothing wrong with adding in, "Hey guys." And I wonder, is she gonna make a video saying why we should stop saying, "What's up ladies?" "What's up girls?" No, of course she's not, because she just embraced all of that within this video. So it's okay when she uses that type of language, but it's definitely not okay when we use that type of language because it's misgendering. Anyway, like, favorite, subscribe. I'm sorry, guys. I actually am physically hurt. You physically hurt me with your curtailing of language. I should sue you. Anyway, like, favorite, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. I know YouTube's out there actually deleting subscribers, so make sure that if you are subscribed that you are. Make sure that if you were subscribed that you are still subscribed. Hit that bell for notifications. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Dismantle me like before. Show me your teeth and tongue. Make me regret what I've done. I'll act like you have won.
I challenge you to take an extra 0.5 seconds to think about what comes out of your mouth before you say it.
Oh, that's great. Well, I challenge you to...
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Yo, all you sucker MCs ain't got nothing on me. From my grades to my lines, you can't touch Kevin G. I'm a mathlete, for nerd isn't bird, but forget what you heard. I'm like James Bond III, shaking, not stirred. I'm Kevin the Poor. The G is silent when I sneak in your door. Make love to your woman on the bathroom floor. I don't play it like Shaggy, you'll know it was me. Cause the next time you see her, she'll be like,